A lesson in leadership. Today we take a look at the leadership of Omar Porti, aka O.G MACK, founder of the New York faction of Bloods and the United Blood Nation. O.G MACK was a charismatic, visionary, and pragmatic leader who united many in the New York penal system under the banner of blood. Let's take a look at his strengths and weaknesses as a leader and what ultimately brought him down. Let's dive in. Birth. Name: Omar Porti, alias O.G MACK. Notoriety: founder of the Bloods in New York City, United Blood Nation, or UBN, in the early 1990s, while incarcerated at Rikers Island. Context: at the time, the Latin Kings and Nitas dominated NYC prisons. Mack saw the need for an organization to protect African American inmates, leading to the creation of the UBN, modeled after the West Coast Bloods but with its own NY flavor. Leadership style. Charismatic visionary. Mack had the ability to articulate a vision that gave disenfranchised inmates a sense of belonging and protection. Fear plus respect. Balance. He instilled fear in enemies and dissenters while commanding loyalty from followers through rhetoric, ritual, and identity. Organizational builder. He created a structured hierarchy with ranks, codes, and rules, giving the Bloods longevity and unity even outside prison walls. Delegation network control. Though incarcerated for most of his leadership, he exercised power through lieutenants and enforcers. Strengths. Visionary strategist. He saw a power vacuum and filled it, creating a lasting organization. Institutional influence. Even behind bars, he controlled operations, showing his reach and respect. Identity creation. The use of colors, codes, and rituals gave members a shared identity and loyalty. Survival instincts. He built an organization as a survival mechanism, turning defense into offense. Charisma. Persuasion. Able to recruit and unify fragmented individuals into a brotherhood. Weaknesses. Reliance on fear. Excessive reliance on intimidation bred disloyalty and internal rivalries. Exposure to law enforcement. His high-profile notoriety and the violent reputation of the Bloods made him a primary target. Loss of central control. Once the Bloods spread beyond prison walls, factions often operated independently, diluting centralized control. Paranoia. Betrayal. The same fear that gave him power also caused mistrust, leading to fractures within leadership. Short-term vision. While he created a structure, much of it was reactive against rival gangs, not proactive for long-term stability. Laws of power. Broken law. 1. Never outshine the master. Mack put himself at the center of attention, drawing heavy police focus. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. His aims became too obvious, which allowed authorities to anticipate moves. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. He relied too heavily on prison networks, becoming trapped. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Rivalries with other gangs consumed time and resources, sometimes unnecessarily escalating conflicts. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. Expansion into the streets created more chaos and less discipline. Laws of power. Mastered Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Mack became a legend inside and outside prison, amplifying his influence. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. He mobilized protection for African American inmates in Rikers, consolidating power quickly. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe in something. He gave members identity, codes, and purpose. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. He established structure and ranks that survived beyond him. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. He understood weaknesses, exploiting fear and loyalty for control. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. He carried himself as a figure of authority, which cemented his leadership even when locked up. How he maintained power for so long. Symbolism, rituals. The adoption of red bandanas, specific codes, and ranks ensured loyalty and identity. Delegated authority. Even while imprisoned, Lieutenants carried out his orders, making him a distant but respected figurehead. Mythology. His story as the founder became legend, keeping his name alive in the culture. Protection as currency. He leveraged protection in prison as a form of power, binding followers to him. Fear plus respect. A dual system. Fear kept members in line, while respect made them believe in the cause. O.G. Mack was a charismatic prison-based strategist who created an empire through identity, hierarchy, and fear. His strength lay in unifying scattered individuals under a banner, but his downfall came from overexposure, fractured control, fractured reputation, and the violent notoriety of the very organization he built.